I was in the avocado room. That's a room that is painted green. It was at Fox. Fox had the rights to the UFC at the time. And I was doing a television show with Kenny Florin. It was called UFC Tonight. And in this space, that was a very big show. It was the biggest show in our space, our industry, at that time. Now, I will admit, there was only one other show. But it was a great opportunity. And we had a lot of fun with it. And a new guy comes along. And he's sharing his voice here and there, and he was getting a pretty good run, and he was said to have a pretty good future. His name was Daniel Cormier. And I'd known him for a meaningful period of time, but we're in the avocado room. And I've got a title fight coming up against Jon Jones. And Daniel Cormier is coming down from heavyweight to 205 pounds. And he tells me, I won't fight you. Chael, if you win the title, I will not fight you. And his message was, because we're buddies, we're doing this show together, and, it'd be a little weird. You and me and Kenny are doing this thing, and then all of a sudden we're fighting each other, and it's, I'm not going to do that. Things will never get weird. And I remember hearing it, and I appreciated the message, but I told him, if you're not fighting me because I'm your friend, you need to understand, if I'm the champion of the world and I've got the belt and I can give an opportunity to somebody, if I am truly your friend, I give it to you. So if I beat Jon Jones, you get down to 205 and you do whatever you got to do, I will fight you. But I will fight you as a favor because that's what a friend actually does. And it was a different mindset, and Daniel appreciated that. And nothing more was said on the topic. And after I ripped Jon Jones's toe off and threw it into the second row to become the linear champion, I did not ever defend that title. But my heart was in the right place, I believe. Now, that is up for review. Not everybody is going to think like that. But I came from a wrestling background, as did Daniel. And you had to wrestle off with your own teammates just to get the varsity position. And as you get into college, those teammates are your very good friends. And they're not only your very good friends, times they're your roommates. You will get in the same car at your house and ride to the venue where you're going to battle each other with your dream on the line, then get back in the car and go back to the house like it never happened. It's just the way that it was. And there was no hard feelings about it. That story was very literal and happened every single season to many guys. It wasn't the exception, it was the norm. So a little bit different mindset when I talk about competing with friends. And we've got a situation now with Islam. And I don't know how advanced this situation is. No one does. 155 pounds is very, very odd right now. Ilya's there. Undefeated champion of the world. Is not currently the number one contender. Just for example. Guy that was named number one contender, named Sarukian, and has never lost since he was named number one contender, is no longer the number one contender. Generally, the top guy would have to do something and not do it as well as the guy standing across, right? He's got to get beat. Generally. I get that there's more to the story, but I'm just sharing with you. Very strange right now. And we have a champion of the world who is unsigned. And by the way, it doesn't look as though that's about to change anytime soon. Now, that champion of the world in Islam has done everything right. 100%, he is batting a perfect record. And the only thing that Islam has ever asked for that I'm aware of, that's a literal statement. I have never seen an interview. I talked to Islam. I've never heard him ask for anything except to fight at 170 pounds. He doesn't even demand a world title fight at 170. He doesn't even demand a main event at 170. He just wants to go to 170. The worst part of his career and the toughest opponent that stops him from enjoying things is the scale. That's not unusual. Other guys get to change weight classes. Those guys get beat. Alex Pierre also had a hard time with the scale. He got to change weight classes, but he got beat. Islam is so good that nobody can beat him. And his reward for nobody beating him is he doesn't get to change weight classes like other guys. It's complicated. He's told that he can't leave the weight class, but a guy that just did that, a guy that just successfully did what Islam would like to do, is being offered a title shot against Islam, right? Ilia Topuria just did what Islam wants to do. Islam's not allowed to do it. Ilia did do it. And so I'm just sharing with you that it's a complicated time. And a lot of people are saying that Islam will do nothing. He's going to sit and wait for the outcome of Belal and Jack. And I'm here to tell you that is not happening. Just so we're perfectly clear. Not only is that not happening, that can't happen. There cannot be a precedence where the inmates are running the asylum, where somebody is holding up business and or a division because of an idea that they single-handedly have for an opportunity that they single-handedly decided they should get. I'm purely letting you know whether you like it or not. That will not happen. Okay. But that's before we get into the nitty-gritty. Now, I told you about Daniel and I's conversation. And I could play this game many times. Rehash the story of Jon Jones and Rashad. We can do this many times. Or I can just tell you what Belal said, and I can tell you what Islam said. Belal said, I will not fight Islam. I owe those guys. They were there for me when I needed them. There's a respect, and I will not fight him. Islam, while smiling and grinning like the cat that ate the canary, did not say that he refused to fight Belal. He said that he will not pursue a fight against Belal. He will pursue it against Jack if Jack beats Belal. I thought it was very clear in Islam's interview. His phone rings today and he's offered an opportunity. So he's not doing it. He's not going out. He's not seeking it. He's not lobbying. He's not campaigning for it. But if the opportunity came to him to go up, even if the opponent was Belal, he would take it. I want to reword that. I said, here's what I just said. I interpreted. No. That's garbage. There's no misinterpretation. It happened exactly the way I just said it happened. And that becomes a problem. And I'm just sharing for you either side of that equation. That is not the attitude of our number one contenders. And nobody's done anything wrong. Those guys go about that however they want. I'm just letting you know, if you're Team Islam and you're sitting around and you're waiting and you're delaying action because you believe you're going to go to 170 and get a title shot against Jack Della Lema, just to let you know, first off, nobody's asking to see that fight. You lack the skills to make anybody want to see that fight. Jack lacks the motivation to make anybody want to see the fight. By the way, I think that's Ian Gary's fight. So I mean, just before we get into any of this, and if at the same time you are refusing Ilia Topuria, and you are, and I'll tell you your own reasons, because he hasn't done anything in this weight class, and if I lose to him, it's too big of a risk. I will have lost to a guy that didn't do anything in this weight class. We'll just take that same argument and stick it up your ass at 170, where you haven't done anything. And I don't know if you've ever met more of a pro-Islam guy. I'm completely for Islam. But there's times in this sport where guys get out over their skis. And there's times with the level of success or headlines that get said about them where they make the mistake of believing them. or as relationships grow and phone calls take place and nice things are done, that you mistake that we ever have left the fight business, because we have not. There is at no point, no matter what you believe your relationship is, that this becomes fight friends. At least not on the second floor at the UFC where the decisions are made. I'm sharing that with you. And the great and grand idea that you would swoop in and take on a chosen opponent, that's where the psychological problem comes in. I get the idea of the relationship with Bilal and Islam. I actually don't want to come in front of that. I am not clamoring to see that fight. Neither are you guys. That fight is not going to get signed. But to make believe that somebody's clamoring to see Islam versus Jack is silly. So, it could happen, but whatever happens with Ilya in terms of the opportunities that he's offered, now, they might not come to fruition and he might not take them, but whatever opportunities are offered to Ilya, we can assume is the same way that Islam would be treated at 170. But Ilya did have one tremendous difference, which is the courage to vacate. Not to play the water, not to weigh the fence, not to see what's best for him. He fought the absolute best at 45, the absolute best. And now he's trying to fight the absolute best at 55. That is not the same thing as standing back with your belt, looking at a division you're not in, and then seeing if you like the matchup when the time comes. Make sure you understand there has never been a time, and it will not start now, where the inmates start running the asylum.